Over there. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Coming off of a nice long weekend. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend and their holiday and took some time to rest. So let's get started. Again, I think everybody has taken this class, but if you haven't, good morning. My name is Danielle. This is the Hatha Flow class for Tuesday morning at Experience Yoga. And so what you'll need today is if you have blocks, yoga blocks, and if you have anything else that can replace that feels nice and sturdy to kind of give you some extra support, go ahead and have those handy at the top of your mat. And then if you want to prop yourself up on a blanket, you can grab any blanket or pillow that you have around you. And then for the end of class for our Shavasana, if we do want to kind of block out the light when we do our Shavasana, you can grab your eye pillow, or you can always use a washcloth that can cover your eyes. And it just helps to block out the light to help you relax a little bit more into that last pose. So today, we are wrapping up the month of May. It seems so weird to say that. I feel like time is just flying by. And we've been talking about showing up and being vulnerable and what that all means. So I hope that you've, taken away some nuggets from this past month of talking about that. And so we'll just go ahead and get started. So find yourself in your easy seat. And go ahead and rest the hands on the tops of the thighs. So you can, if you'd like, palms facing down or up. Just depends on what kind of energy that you're looking for this morning. Palms facing up is usually a request for more energy. Palms facing down is a request or signaling for more relaxation or calmness. But whatever one actually feels good for you, just check in to see what feels good. And you can always, if you want, find a mudra if you have a favorite mudra to put your hands into. And then as you're ready, just begin to connect with the breath nice and naturally here, not forcing anything. And then if it feels good for you, go ahead and close the eyes, or you can just bring your gaze low in front of you. And again, bringing your awareness to the breath. So what does that mean? That just means bring your focus to your inhales and your exhales. And then as we do that, what happens is we become more focused on being in the moment. Bringing our focus to our breath is a mindfulness action. Again, meaning to be present and in the moment. So we're not doing any fancy breath here. We're just noticing, being aware, bringing our focus to the breath. Just notice what your inhales feel like. Notice what the exhales feel like. The inhale shorter or longer than the exhale, vice versa. Or are they even? Do you take a little pause at the top, or do you just come straight to the next and let it flow one into the other? Does it feel smooth and soft, or does it feel a little jagged and quick? Just noticing, just taking a few more moments to do this. Now we're going to take that breath a little bit deeper. And as we breathe in on the inhale, we get nice and long and feel that inhale travel all the way down to the belly. Take a short little pause before you exhale and exhale all the air out. Try to do this both in through the nose and out through the nose, but if you need to, if you have any nasal issues or sinus issues, because it is that time of year, try to keep the inhale through the nose, and then as you exhale, you can exhale through the mouth. Breathing in this way helps us with so many things. It helps build our stamina. It helps monitor our breathing, slow down our breathing. Getting into that deep belly breath really helps you get the breath traveling throughout the body, not just the belly. And then releasing it. So I took some time this weekend to really take a break. I allowed myself to take a day or two off from my work that I'm usually busy doing on the side of my job. And one of the things that I did was I decided to watch Star Wars. And so many nuggets and wisdom, not only from that movie, but the director as well. And one of the things, like I said, we've been talking about through the month of May in this series of classes and sequences has been vulnerability and showing up. And with that, we've been talking a little bit about fear, so sprinkling that in through the way, because as we talk about vulnerability, fear is one of the things that come up, which is also associated with shame. And so I've been thinking a lot about fear, thinking a lot about what it means to show up for me and for other people, and the things that might stop us from showing up and living our life fully. And again, that word fear pops up often because that is a block, and that can be a block that stops us from doing those things that we really want to do. And fear can lead to a lot of things. And so fear is the opposite of love. And with love, we have abundance. And with fear, we have things like suffering. And it's important to know that even though we're striving to be vulnerable, to allow ourselves to show up and live our life fully, that doesn't mean we're going to alleviate fear completely, or anxiety or worry. What that means is we're going to work towards figuring out a way to do things despite the fear that pops up. And so in that, we're talking about being brave, right? Taking that chance, taking the willingness, having the willingness to do something despite the fear helps us be a little bit brave, right? I think I shared that quote last week by Brene Brown, willingness. And so again, like I said, watching Star Wars this weekend. I watched 2 of them, so I haven't gotten that. I didn't finish all of them, but of course, wanted to share a little nugget from the great Yoda. And he says, "Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering." And so when we give in to the fear, we're giving into the suffering. But again, we need to know fear in order to know love and abundance. We need to experience the dark in order to experience and appreciate the light. And so again, it's not that we're going to alleviate fear altogether, but by giving fear words by taking it, we take away its power by talking about it, by expressing it, by facing it. We begin to build our resiliency to it, and we begin to build our tools or create our tools, create our toolbox for things to do when that fear does pop up. So that way we can continue to expand the love and the courage to move into finding the things and attracting the things that we do want. So I'm going to share this one last quote with you before we get into our warm-up, and this one is by Nelson Mandela. And he says, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." So in your practice today, maybe you take some time to do something that might create a little fear in the belly or in the body, and just take that chance to be willing to push it a little bit further and expand that braveness that's already within you. So let's take a few more deep breaths here. And whatever breath that you've been taking, that deep breath, go ahead and release it, and now just find your natural breath. And let's release our hands to our sides, so fingertips touching the floor right beside our hips there, but arms nice and long, just tenting the hands there. You can keep the eyes closed here, the gaze low. We're gonna go ahead and take 3 cleansing breaths and bring in some movement with that. So wherever you are in the breath, go ahead and exhale all the air out of the belly. And on your next inhale, begin to circle those arms nice and long, really outstretch those arms and begin to circle them up overhead. Let's bring those fingertips together as we get overhead into the head or the gaze, excuse me, up overhead. Take a little pause in the breath. And then as you exhale, float the arms down, but nice and slow, and really extend those arms, extend the fingers, spread the fingers, and bring the chin to the chest. We're taking this nice and slow. And then as you get down, take a little pause, and then inhale, circle the arms overhead again, bringing the gaze up or the head up, eyes up. Take a little pause, bring those fingertips together, and then release that and exhale. Float the arms down, bringing the chin to the chest. And one more inhale, circle those arms overhead. Again, as you get to the top, take a little pause, bring those fingertips together. And then after that pause, take the exhale, circle the arms down, bringing the chin to the chest, and connecting the fingertips to the mat beside you. Go ahead and bring the chin to the chest here. Really get a nice stretch in the back of the neck. And then as you inhale, bring the head back up to center. And then as you exhale, drop the head back, chin up towards the ceiling. Nice stretch in the front of the throat here. And then inhale, bring the head back to center. This time we're going to drop the right ear to the right shoulder to get a stretch in the side of the neck. And then inhale, coming back to center. And then as we exhale, bring the left ear to the left shoulder. Again, nice stretch in the side of the neck there. And then inhale, coming back up to the center. We're going to go ahead and inhale the left arm up by the left ear. Go ahead and walk the fingertips out just a little bit of the right hand right beside you, so that nice and long, really extending that arm there. We're going to turn the palm of the left hand to facing out and just press down. We're making a nice diagonal line here, and then just press those shoulders back. So we're rotating, so that palm is now facing down as we press that arm down just a little bit. So rotating that and making a nice diagonal line from the fingertips of the left hand to the fingertips of the right hand. Good. Go ahead and turn that palm again facing up of the left hand and bring it up by the ear. We're going to move right into that side bend towards the right. So you can walk the hand out, slide the arm out, or just begin to reach that forearm down to the mat by bending the elbow. Keep that left arm nice and long. Really begin to twist that belly and that's fine. Your heart up towards the ceiling, so make sure that you're really broadening that chest there. And then inhale, coming back up to center. And we're going to release now the left arm, the left hand to the top of the right thigh, and the right hand behind the right hip. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist into the right. So that inhale grows the spine, sitting up nice and tall. And then the exhale finds that twist in the belly, from the belly. And then we'll exhale and unwind and coming back to center. Release those fingertips to the sides, keeping them on the mat. Inhale the right arm, so we'll do that also with the right arm up this time. And then go ahead and walk the left hand out just a little bit so you're just on your tippy fingertips. We're gonna rotate that right palm so that's facing out and then press that arm down just a little bit. So we're really creating that length here. So we're creating some resistance too as we press down. So it kind of feel like you're pressing down on something that's a little difficult to press. So we're not going all the way down, we're just creating that nice length here and line here, diagonal line. Good. And then flip that right palm back up towards the ceiling and bring that arm up by the ear and begin to take that side bend over to the left. Again, just taking some time to notice where's the chest and where's the belly. Are you caving in, or can you twist it and spin it up just a little bit more to really broaden and grow here? So broadening the chest as we spin the chest up, and then it helps us lengthen the spine. And then inhale, coming back to center. And then we'll take that right hand and place it on the top of the left thigh, left hand behind the hip. Inhale, lengthen, sit up nice and tall. And then exhale, twisting to that left leg. Making sure we're still pretty grounded in our sit bones here. So try not to float up. So sometimes what happens is as we grow our spine, as we lengthen, sometimes we pop up a little bit out of our sit bones. And then so use that exhale to not only twist from the belly, but ground those sit bones. Feel yourself really connected with the mat or the blanket, whatever you're sitting on. And then exhale, unwind, we'll come to the center. So we'll stretch those legs out nice and long since we've been sitting in our Sukhasana for a while. Get a nice long stretch in those legs here. So flex those feet. We're gonna work a little bit on warming up the feet here. So flex those feet, which just means point those toes up towards the ceiling and really stretch those toes out. Really stretch them, stretch them, stretch them. So create that space in between all the piggies, all the toes. Right, and then just continue to stretch. And then now we're going to go ahead and we're going to work towards a pointed foot. So that's going to come from the ankle first. So as we begin to move the ankle, move the toes towards a pointed foot. Toes are the last thing to point, right? And then feel the nice stretch. So you'll feel a nice stretch in the front of the ankles here when we have that pointed foot. Just be careful there, because sometimes if our feet are a little weak or less flexible, sometimes our feet want to sickle in, which is that kind of makes a C curve. And to get those feet nice and straight. And then go ahead and this time flex the toes first, and then move back into that flexed foot. And we'll do that one more time. So we'll move towards that pointed foot by beginning from the ankle first, moving through the arch, and then the ball of the foot, and then the toes. Checking out those feet, making sure they're nice and straight. And then moving towards the flex. So flex the feet first, move through the ball of foot, the arch, and then the ankle. Good. And then from here, let's create little circles with the feet and the ankles that circle the ankles around so you can go in the opposite directions, whichever way you want to go. Just circle those ankles around. No big deal on which way you go first. And then do a few more and then reverse. So go in the opposite direction that you're already going. So it is important to warm up the feet. There's so much that happens in the feet. It's amazing how much stuff happens in the feet. All right, and then come back to stillness. Let's get that nice flexed foot again. Make sure that you have a nice micro bend in the knees for our sitting forward fold here. We don't want to lock out. So on your inhale, lengthen that spine, sit up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, begin to fold from the hips, hinge from the hips. I usually choose to just walk the hands on along the outsides of the legs. And then you can drop your head when you get to your spot that you feel that you can go. Again, keep an eye on those feet. If our calves and our hamstrings are tight and our hips are tight, the feet will begin to lose that flex and they'll begin to kind of point a little bit. So really get those feet nice and flexed at the ankles and you'll feel that stretch. It might be really tight. Mine are. Backs of my legs are pretty tight right now. And then on your inhale, we're going to walk the hands back towards the hips and come to sitting up. Give those legs a little shake. And we're going to do that one more time. This time we're going to point the feet. So go ahead and point the feet now. Again, make sure that those feet are nice and straight. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and then as you exhale, begin to walk the hands along the outsides of the body and find that forward fold. And then on your next inhale, walk the hands back towards the body, come to upright, and we're gonna shake that leg, shake those legs out. All right, so let's take that left leg. We're gonna bring the sole of the foot. And your choice, you can bring it to the inside of the right inner thigh there, or you can cross it over and bring it to the outside. Your choice there, whatever feels good for you right now. Go ahead and wrap that right arm around that left leg, the leg that's bent. And the left arm comes right behind the hip. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist towards that left bent leg. Keep that right leg nice and active, meaning it's still there. Don't forget about it. We oftentimes, when we're focusing on one leg or one side, we'll forget about the other ones. And we'll get a little off balance, or we'll just forget about it. So keep that foot nice and flexed and that leg nice and active. It's still working, even though it's the stationary leg. And then on your next exhale, unwind, uncross the leg, and then we'll take the right leg. Again, your choice. If you did it on the inside of the thigh, on the other side, do the same on this side. And if you did the outside, again, do the same. And then wrap that arm around, place that hand behind the hip, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist from the belly towards that right bent leg. And then exhale, unwind, and uncross the legs, get them out in front of you, and get a little shake. We'll go ahead and swing the legs around. We'll come to our all fours here. We'll come to our tabletop. So making sure that the knees are right under your hip points. So the knees are hip width apart, tops of the feet connected with the mat, and then the hands. So we want the wrists right under the shoulders, or a little bit ahead if you want to. If you have any like wrist issues, spread those fingers nice and wide so you can see the color of the mat between the fingers. And we'll just do some cat-cow here. Again, continuing to wake up the spine and the body. So on the inhale, drop the belly, bring the gaze up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, round the spine, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone. Really round that spine, round those shoulders. And then inhale, drop the belly. Round that spine. On your exhale, round those shoulders too. Really get all that roundness in. And then inhale. Drop the belly. So continue that way on your own a few more times and give your body whatever your body might need. So if you want to wag those hips from side to side. If you want to take little circles with the spine. You want to just kind of rock back and forth a little bit. Give your body whatever your body might need at this point. And then on your next inhale, we'll all meet in neutral. So we're going to take that you're right. We're going to take the right leg. We're going to start with the right leg first. We're going to stretch out that right leg behind us. We're going to curl the toes. We're going to keep the toes on the mat for right now. And really press through. So you can press back and press through that heel. So you'll feel a nice stretch in the calf there. And then just begin to now rock forward. So we're rocking through the ball of the foot, through the toes, curl over the toes, come to the top of the foot. And then rock back, curl over those toes, get to the ball of the foot, press that heel back. So just nice gentle movements here, just a little gentle rocking back and forth, moving through the feet or the foot. And then we'll do that one more time. So rocking forward, curling over the toes to the top of the foot, and then curling back over, ball of the foot, press that heel back, and then we'll just come to neutral here. So prepare yourself for our spinal balance here. So as you're ready, get that weight nice and even, those hips nice and even, connect to that core. Go ahead and lift that right leg up, hip height. So that foot nice and flexed just means those toes are pointing down towards the mat. Find your spot, and then as you're ready, release that left arm, palm facing in. And find that balance. You want to take this a little further. We're going to go ahead and bend the right leg, so kick the heel towards the booty. And then we're going to reach around with that left arm, finding that right foot, either the top of the foot or the ankle. And we'll take that little stretch and a twist here. And then go ahead and, with control, release. And then find your all fours again. And we'll move, bring those big toes together, bring those knees as wide as the mat, and send those hips back for your child's pose. Keep the arms nice and long, get a little stretch, extra stretch in the shoulders here. And just know at any time during your practice, you can always come to your child's pose. And on your next inhale, coming back up to your all fours, and we'll do all that on the other side. So this time we're getting that left leg behind us, toes curled on the mat, press through that heel, really feel those toes stretch, the calf stretch, the ball of the foot, arch, and then rock forward, curling over the toes to the top of the foot, stretching that front of the ankle, and then press back, curling over the toes, press the heel back. And just do that a few more times at your own pace. I like to slow this one down sometimes a little bit. Get that extra stretch in the calf. And just give my feet a little bit more of a warm up. So wherever you are, do one more full round of that. And then we'll meet in neutral. And then go ahead and make sure that you're finding your center. So connect with your core, get those hips nice and even. Find your spot so you can find your balance. Begin to lift that left leg up to hip height. Keep those toes facing towards the mat and foot flexed. As you're ready, inhaling the right arm, palm facing in, nice and long, nice and long. You want to take it further, kick the left heel to the booty. Reach around with the right hand. Ooh, oops. Lost it. And you can kick into that hand. Little tip,
What helps sometimes keep you more steady, really pressing that foot into the mat. Go ahead and release. Find that control. And release the hand and the leg back down to the mat. And child's pose. So bring those big toes together. Knees as wide as the mat. Send the hips back. And find your child's pose. On your next inhale, coming back up to your all fours. And let's get ready here for our first down dog of the class. So curl those toes, find that hand placement that works best for you. Again, if you have any wrist issues, walk the hands up a little bit and then spread those fingers, and you can even turn the hands out a little bit. So really pressing and then press into those finger pads, curl the toes. Send those hips up as you're ready, connecting to that core for your first down dog. So take whatever feels good here. So if you want to stay static or just stay still, you can, and then just kind of check out your alignment and see what you might need to adjust, like your shoulders or hips. But then if you want to, it always feels good to maybe walk the dog. So lifting one heel, pressing the other one down, bending, alternating the knees there. Or bending both knees, pressing those hips up, and then straightening the knees. Helps you get that lower back in alignment when you do both knees. Or lifting up on both balls of the toes or the foot. Lifting those heels up nice and high and lowering them. So again, do a combination of all that. Do the thing that helps, or try something new. Step out of your comfort zone a little bit in some of your poses today. And let's all come back to stillness, and let's hang out in stillness. And let's take 3 nice cleansing breaths here. So inhaling through the nose. And exhale, nice big exhale or sigh. Inhale. And exhale. One more, inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, bend the knees, look to the top of the mat. Walk the feet to the hands for your standing forward fold. So feet hip width apart. Knees nice and bent. Nice big bend in the knees here. Let the belly just rest on the tops of the thighs. Let the head hang super heavy here. Give it a shake, yes or no. Yes and no. And let's end on a yes to keep it more positive. And if you'd like, you can grab opposite elbows, add a little more heaviness. You can sway back and forth. If you do, keep this nice and gentle and very smooth. And then go ahead and release the elbows and release those hands. And on your next inhale, nice big bend, and begin to roll up, coming up to standing to your Tadasana. And adjust whatever you might need to adjust in your Tadasana. So if you're not at the top of the mat, come up to as close to the top of the mat as you can get. Get yourself, find your Tadasana. So feet hip nice and flat, hip width apart, or a little bit further apart if you need to. Little trick I learned is finding where my hip points are and making sure that my ankles are right below that. But some people do choose to do it with the big toes together. Whatever feels good for you, whatever works for you, just find an alignment that feels good. Bending, nice micro bend in the knees. Connect with that core, growing and lengthening that spine, rolling those shoulders up and back and rotating the palms so they're facing out. Ears should be right over the shoulders, and your gaze can be right out in front of you. And again, practice this time, find this time to practice finding your spot, your dristi, that place in front of you that's not moving to help keep your balance. Good. And let's take one full breath here. So wherever you are in the breath, exhale all the air. And then nice inhale.
through the nose, and then exhale. On the next inhale, circle the arms overhead. And as we bring those arms overhead, lift those heels up. We're coming up on the balls of the feet, on the toes. Good. As you exhale, bring the palms together and begin to swan dive. Bring the hands through center, through our heart space, swan dive down to your standing forward fold. Inhale, lifting up halfway, finding that nice flat back. We're gonna stay here just for a little extra beat, just to get that nice stretch in the back of the legs. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming back up, reversing that swan dive. You can bring the hands up through the center, or you can circle them out and bring those hands up. And as you're up there, lift those heels again, up onto the heels. You can always stay flat. But if you are practicing this, see how high you can get those heels up. And then exhale, bring those hands through the center, moving into our swan dive, into our standing forward fold. Release that head. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, staying here for an extra beat. So the hands can come to the shins or the tops of the thighs, or if the fingertips can reach the floor, awesome. Just don't rest them on the knees here. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse that swan dive, whether you bring the hands to the center or circle them out. And as you come up, raise those hands up, palms together, and raise those heels up one more time. See how high you can get up there. And exhale, hands through the heart space, swan dive, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse that swan dive. And coming up to your Tadasana, exhale, hands to heart space. I am actually going to move just a little bit, guys, because I just realized I'm hitting my fireplace. All right, coming back to your Tadasana. Inhale, circle those arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive to your standing forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, bend the knees, bring the feet, step back to plank. Nice high plank here, nice and strong. Really get connected to your breath here. On the inhale, we're gonna press up to our down dog. So adjust as you need to once you get there. Good. We're gonna do that twist that we did last week in our down dog. So we're gonna take the left hand, bring it towards the center of your mat, of you, and then take the right hand and reach for that left leg. And then take that peek to the left. Exhale, unwind, bring the right hand back, and put the left hand back where it needs to be. We'll do it again, this time with the right hand. Move the right hand over just a bit, and take that left hand and reach for the outside of that right leg, and take a peek towards the right. And exhale, unwind, coming back to your center, down dog. On your next inhale, we're going to step the right foot, right foot to the top of the mat. Sorry, guys. Lost my apparatus there. All right, we're going to take that, step that right foot to the top of the mat between the hands. And go ahead and really spread that out. So work that left leg really behind you, nice and long. And then nice and gently, let's release that left knee and uncurl the left toes to the mat. So nice long low lunge here. On the inhale, we're going to climb up to the top of the thigh. Finding your balance. This can sometimes take you a little off balance. So again, finding that jersey, really pressing into the top of that back foot. On the inhale, we're going to circle the arms overhead. As you exhale, bring the hands to heart space. Inhale, lengthen that spine, sitting, growing that spine.
Exhale, twisting towards the right leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, see if you can't find a little more twist. And exhale, coming back to center. Frame the feet, curl the toes, lift the knees, stepping back to plank now. So finding that nice strong plank. Take 2 more breaths here. On your next inhale, coming to down dog. And nice big breath here, nice cleansing breath. On your next inhale, step the left foot to the top of the mat between the hands. Right, get that back leg nice and long behind you. And then go ahead and release, very gently release the knee and uncurl the toes. On the inhale, climbing up to the top of the thigh. Staying here for a beat just to get your balance. So if you are feeling really off balance, you can walk the left foot out towards the outside of the mat there to create a little more space to help with that balance. Good. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, bring those hands to heart space. Inhale, grow tall, really lengthen that spine, create that space. Exhale, twist towards the left leg. On your next exhale, unwind, coming back to center. Frame the foot, curl the toe, lift the knee, step back to plank. Two more nice big breaths here. And on your next inhale, down dog. And settle in. One more nice cleansing breath here. On your next inhale, bend the knees, look to the top of the mat. Walk, step, or float to the hands for your standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, nice flat back here. Maybe the hands touch more towards the shins or the ankles. You go a little further. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse that swan dive. Exhale, hands to heart space. Take a minute to just catch your breath here. Wherever you are in the breath, exhale all the air out of the belly. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. And exhale, swan dive, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, bend the knees, frame the feet, step back to plank. We're gonna hold our plank here. So we're getting that nice strong plank. So if you do need to, if you wanna release the knees, you can release the knees as well. Inhale, down dog. And again, find your alignment here, fix or adjust anything you need to adjust. We're gonna step that right hand in just a little bit. Take that left hand and reach for the outside of the right leg. Take that little look underneath the arm there. Exhale, unwind. Bring that left hand back. Replace the right where it needs to be. This time, take the right hand, place it a little bit in. Take the right hand, reach it for the outside of the left leg, and take that look underneath the arm. Exhale, unwind, and return those hands back to your down dog placement. And release back into your down dog. On your next inhale, step the right foot to the top of the mat between the hands. Inhale, coming up to hands to heart space and bringing that body to upright. Pay attention to that front knee here. So you want that knee. Sometimes it gets a little wonky, and if it feels a little weak or it's a little tired, it's going to go inward. So just make sure that knee is tracking right over that middle toe there. You can still see your toes. Good. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart space. Inhale, lengthen that spine. Exhale, twist towards the right leg. If you need to come down to a knee, feel free to do that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Good. On your exhale, unwind, coming back to center. Frame the foot. We're going to step back to plank. Nice, strong plank here. So check in, take a peek. Where are those hips at? Are they dropping down here? Are they up here? And again, you can always skip this and move into a child's pose or a down dog. On your next inhale, down dog. Take a nice cleansing breath here. Settle into your down dog. And then inhale, sit the left foot to the top of the mat between the hands. Take a beat just to get your foundation. And then as you're ready, pressing up, hands to heart space. Or high crescent lunge here. Good. Check in with that knee. I just did something wonky. Actually, my foot did something wonky. That made my knee fall in. I want to make sure that that knee is aiming towards that right angle in the leg, but making sure that that knee is tracking right over the toe. You might feel the thighs firing up now. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart space. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist to the left. Try to keep those hips even. Check in with that top knee. And exhale, unwind. Bring the foot, step back to plank. Nice, strong plank here. So we're taking 3 breaths in our plank. Really connect with that core. Inhale, down dog. 1 nice cleansing breath in your down dog. And then on your next inhale, bend the knees up to the top of the mat. Walk, step forward, float to the hands for your standing forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse that swan dive. Arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart space. Good. Take a little minute here. Take a breath to take a breather, take a beat, take a breather, get some water if you need to. And then coming back to your Tadasana. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, frame the feet, step back to plank. Nice long step back there. 3 breaths here. And on your next inhale, down dog. All right, this time we'll walk the left hand in a little bit. We'll take that, get really nice in place there. Take that right hand and reach for the outside of the left leg. And take that little look. Exhale, unwind. And replace that left hand. Back to your down dog. And then right hand. Move that right hand in a little bit. Left hand reaches for the right leg. And take that peek. Like playing peekaboo. Exhale, unwind, and finding your down dog. On your next inhale, stepping to the top of the mat between the hands. You'll have to take a huge step here. So we're gonna straighten that front leg, that back leg up for our pyramid pose. So we wanna shorten the stance in our pyramid pose. It's not as wide as when we're in any of our lunges or warrior poses. So both the back leg and the front leg are straight. both feet are parallel, so they're both facing the top of the mat. If you need to, this is a little much because it's quite the stretch and the hamstring. Prop yourself up on some blocks. Prop the hands up on blocks. Checking in with those hips. So what happens is, because there might be some tightness or lots of tightness, we might sink into that left hip. So make sure that those hips are nice and even. And the weight is fairly evenly distributed into both feet. So we're gonna, if you are on your block, you can keep that hand, that right hand on your block. If you need to prop it up just a little bit, you can do that. We're gonna take the left hand, we're just gonna reach it and place it to the outside of the right foot. So you might need to prop that on a block as well. And we'll just take that right hand, bring it to the right hip. Just taking a little twist here. So we're really just working on twisting that torso. You're gonna feel quite the stretch. So really work on opening those shoulders up, twisting. Again, remember spinning that chest towards the ceiling. And trying to find your balance at the same time. That's going on. All right, exhale, unwind and release the right hand and frame the feet with the hands, with both hands coming back to center. Good, so we're gonna begin to bend that right leg and send that left foot back to our runner's lunge here. And go ahead and step that right foot back to plank. Take your 3 breaths here in your plank. Smooth those shoulders right over your wrists. Want to press those heels back just nice and long, one nice long line. After you're done your round of 3 breaths, on your inhale, press up to down dog. Take 1 cleansing breath here. And then on your next inhale, we'll begin to step the left foot up. But again, it doesn't have to be a huge step because we're moving right into our pyramid pose. So just step that, begin to step the right foot, that back foot up to shorten the stance. And then straighten both of those legs. Again, both feet parallel, so toes facing towards the top of the mat. We're just hanging nice and heavy here. If you need to use your blocks, go ahead and do that, however you need them. I can personally say that my hamstrings are super tight. Been sitting a lot more lately than I used to. And my left leg always is, not always, but used to be my right leg that was the issue. And unfortunately, my left leg has gotten a little tighter and has some similar issues, so I gotta be a little more compassionate on my left side and softer and breathe into it. All right, so we're gonna move into that twist, so we can leave that left hand where it is for now, and then begin to bring the right hand to the outside of the left foot. Once you find where you feel comfortable, right, wherever that hand, if it needs to be on a block or the outside of the foot or the outside of the ankle, go ahead and take the left hand to the left hip and then begin to move into that twist. So taking that torso, again, lengthening that spine, the inhale and the exhale opens that torso up for the twist. So really pressing those shoulders back, spinning that chest open, and bonus, trying to find your balance. Maybe this side's easier than the other side. Maybe not. Again, just notice it. Maybe you take it a little further if you really want to. Test out that comfort zone a little bit. And then exhale, unwind. And frame, coming back to center, so frame the foot. Let's take that one last little stretch in that pyramid pose. And then begin to bend the top leg, that left leg, and send that right leg back to that runner's lunge. Frame those feet, step back to plank. So get nice and long here. 3 breaths in our plank. And then inhale, down dog. On your next inhale, bend the knees, look to the mat, walk, step, or float to the hands, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse the swan dives, moving up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart space. Awesome. Go ahead and grab a drink if you need to, and shake it out a little bit. All right, so let's, I'm gonna come a little bit towards you guys because I realize I don't have a lot of space back there. We're gonna do our balance drill that we've done in class before. So it's a little bit of, so in the balance drill, we're gonna be moving a little bit while we're trying to find our balance. Pick at any point if you need to stay static or if you need to come out of it or if you need to modify, go ahead and do that. Great thing about this is in each of them, there's lots of room to practice different things and modify. So we're gonna inhale, circle the arms overhead, and then begin to bring that right leg up to our crane pose. So in our crane pose, we want that knee to be right in line with the hip there. We don't need it to be any higher. Good. So on our inhale, we lengthen that spine, stand up nice and tall. We want those hips to be nice and even. And even though we're only standing on one leg, we want the weight to be even. As we exhale, we're gonna open the arms, open the leg. Yeah, find that control, awesome guys. Inhale, come back to center. Beautiful, you guys look awesome. Exhale, open the arms, open leg. Nice. Inhale, center. We'll do that one more time. Exhale, open. Beautiful, you guys look awesome. Inhale, coming back to center this time. We're gonna send that leg back to our warrior 3. So shooting that leg behind us nice and straight. And then as we begin to kind of seesaw a little bit, whoop, and I lost mine. It's harder on a carpet. So if you fall out, just come back up and start over. That leg behind you doesn't have to be super high. Really just focusing on the length here. So stretch that foot out behind you, stretch those arms out in front of you. You want to open the arms to your airplane pose. Go ahead and do that. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Sometimes when your shoulders are tight, it feels a little weird. If you did open them, bring the arms back and then begin to come back up to your standing crane pose. And then go ahead and release. Shake it out. Shake it out. That left leg is probably firing up a little bit or more than a little bit. And then we'll get set for the other side. So if you can always do this again, lots of ways to modify, but if you do struggle a little bit with your balance, you can always keep your leg pretty low and keep the big toe on the floor and do it like that. The other trick is when you're coming back from your warrior 3, if you start to lose your balance a little bit, let that back leg find that it's like the big toe is really kind of doing the instructions here. And if you need to just drag that big toe on the floor to come back up to your crane, you can do that as well. So the big toe has the lead here in that one. All right, so coming to our Tadasana. On the inhale, circle those arms overhead. Begin to move the weight into the right foot and lifting that left leg up to your standing crane pose. Really lengthen. Check out the hips. So is one up and one down, or we have them nice and even. Good. And as you exhale, open the arms, open the leg. Inhale, coming back up to center. Nice. Exhale, open. Nice strong arms, nice long arms, nice strong leg. Inhale, center. One more time. Exhale, open. And inhale, center. Now moving into our warrior three. So sending that leg back behind us. Get it nice and back behind you, nice and strong. Then begin to tilt at those hips. That leg nice and strong behind you. The fingers reaching out for your most favorite thing in the whole wide world. Use your breath, find your spot. And then as you're ready, beginning to lead the way back up to standing. Find your crane pose, lengthen, lengthen, exhale, release. Awesome, guys. Shake it out, shake it out. All right. So I'm moving back onto my mat. And we'll come to the top of our mat and find our Tadasana. We'll do one more sun breath that brings us down to our mat. So take a nice big inhale and exhale. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive, and flat back to your standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, bend the knees, bring the feet. Let's step back to plank. Good. We'll gently lower the knees, bring the big toes together, and send those hips back for your child's pose. So whatever version of this, of child's pose that you want to take, go for it. If you want the arms out long, get them out there. If not, that's okay too. If you want to wrap the arms around the body, you can certainly do that as well. Excuse me. And then from your child's pose, come up to your all fours, cross the legs behind you, and just rock back for our Sukhasana. So if you want to prop yourself up again on your blanket, feel free to do that. And coming to our Sukhasana. So maybe if in our warm-up you had your right leg front the whole time, maybe you switch it and do your left leg this time. So I actually did switch mine after our centering because my foot was falling asleep. So I have my left leg front. So I'm going to keep my right leg front, which is usually front. So switch it up a little bit and see what that feels like. Again, just trying to, push past the norm a little bit. All right. So we're going to bring those hands to the side. We're going to go ahead and inhale the the left arm up to the left ear. Good. Walk those fingertips out and rotate that palm so it's out and press down. Just taking that nice little stretch again. Feel the difference. I don't know about you guys, but my shoulders definitely feel more open. Good. Inhale, bring that left arm back and take that side bend to the right. Again, feel the difference. And spinning that chest up towards the ceiling. Inhale, coming back up to center. Exhale, bring that left arm down to the top of the right thigh and right hand behind the hip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist from the belly. And on your next exhale, unwind, coming back to the center, bringing those fingertips out beside us. Inhale, the right arm up by the right ear. Rotate so that palm is facing out and press down as we walk those fingertips of the left foot. Or left hand, sorry. I was looking at my dog's foot, my paw, and saying that. So again, just feel the difference there. And then inhale, bringing that right arm back up and rotating that palm back. And taking that side bend over to the left. So spinning that chest up.
Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, release the left hand to the right hand to the left thigh. Left hand comes behind the left hip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. I did so good the whole time with my left and my right. Huh. Until now. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, find that twist again. So we're repeating the warm-up. And lots of reasons to do this. One being you've warmed up. You did this in warm-up. You've really warmed up the body, created that heat. And so now it gives you a chance to say, oh, wow, look at how much more space I have. And then exhale, unwind, coming back to center. Go ahead and straighten those legs out in front. Straighten those legs out in front. Good. Flex those feet. Inhale. Nice little micro bend in the knees there. Remember, don't lock out. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, moving into, folding up the hips, moving into your seated forward fold. I always find that this is the one, oh, thank you. This is the one that once I'm nice and warm and I've done a bunch of down dogs, I can get into this one a little bit deeper, which is nice, feels good. And then exhale, walking the hands back towards the body and coming to upright. And we're going to go ahead and bring that left foot either to the inside, sole of the foot to the floor, but either to the inside of the inner thigh or the outside, whichever you want. Maybe in the beginning, if you took the inside of the leg, maybe try to cross it over this time. Wrap that right arm around, hand comes behind the hip, inhale, lengthen, and exhale. We're twisting towards that left leg. So again, remember, we want to keep that right leg nice and active. And then exhale, unwind, uncross the leg, and take that right leg, either cross it over or on the inside, it doesn't matter. Whichever one works for you right now. Wrap that arm around and place the hand behind the hip. Inhale, lengthen, create that space. Exhale, twisting from the belly. And exhale, unwind. So from here, let's do one more before we move into our Shavasana, our final pose. We're going to take those feet, bring the soles of the feet together for our bound angle or our cobbler's pose or all the other things that we call it. Bring those soles of the feet together, make that diamond shape with the legs. Take the hands either on the ankles or tops of the feet. And then inhale, lengthen. Go ahead and use those elbows to press the legs open as you exhale and take a forward fold into this pose, opening up the hips. And on your next inhale, gently pressing back up, bringing the knees together. Bring those soles of the feet, walk those feet out a bit, and just give a little windshield wipers to release that. And then swing those legs around and come to your mat. So come to laying down on your mat. Just draw those knees into the chest and give yourself a nice big hug. So really wrap the arms around the shins, really nice and tight. Hug yourself as tight as you can. Give yourself the biggest hug that you ever gotten. Really get nice and tight there. So you bring the forehead up to meet the knees if you'd like. You can gently rock from side to side. You can stay still, whatever feels good for you. And then as you're ready, moving into your Shavasana. So finding whatever feels good for you. So if you want to get a blanket and cuddle up under a blanket. Again, using your eye pillow or a washcloth for over the eyes. If you have any, lower back issues, feel free to keep the knees bent and bring the soles of the feet out to the sides of your mat and kind of knock the knees together. Or you can always put blankets, a rolled up blanket or pillows underneath the knees while the knees are out straight. That helps too. But you know what? You're at home. You're comfortable, so get yourself nice and cozy for your Shavasana. Take your version of Shavasana that feels good for you. And as you move into Shavasana, I'll share the quote that I shared earlier one last time, the one from Nelson Mandela about courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. So remember, it's not about the absence of fear. We are human beings. Fear is built inside of us. It is a feeling that we need. But each time that we choose and become willing to push past our fears, do it anyway, do it in spite of, we get braver and more resilient. So taking that into your Shavasana, taking these last few moments or to really relax and surrender and soften. Begin to bring your attention back to your breath, gently waking yourself up. Now bringing attention back to the movement in your body, wiggling toes, wiggling fingers, circling ankles, circling wrists, but gently, gently bringing movement back. As you're ready, bending the knees and bringing the soles of the feet to the mat, bending the arms at the elbows, and rolling over to your right side or your left. Taking one last moment, enjoy the stillness. Maybe taking a moment just to think about your takeaways from today's class and setting an intention for the rest of your day. And then as you're ready, pressing yourself up, guiding yourself up to your Sukhasana, your easy seat, keeping the eyes closed or the gaze low, bringing the hands to the heart space or wherever you wish to bring them. I want to thank you all for joining me for class this morning. And moving with me and being willing to move in different ways than we do during the rest of our day. I send you all much love and light for a wonderful rest of the day. And let's together seal in our practice as we honor each other and we honor ourselves by bowing and saying namaste. Namaste.